Canyon in the foothills of eastern Orange County. The OC Fire Authority tweeting that containment came late on Friday night. And Virgin Galactic says its test pilots are okay after it unexpectedly aborted a test flight of its new spacecraft. The rocket was heading towards space over New Mexico yesterday when it suddenly turned towards home, and the company tweeted the ignition sequence for the rocket motor had not completed. The vehicle and crew are said to be in very good shape, though. This was to be the third test flight of the VSS Unity. And for iNews, I'm Chris Barnes.
If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you that running a business is tough, but you might be making it harder on yourself than necessary. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. It's time to upgrade to NetSuite. Stop paying for multiple systems that don't give you the information you need when you need it. Ditch the spreadsheets and all the old software you've outgrown. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Everything you need all in one place instantaneously. Whether you're doing $1 million or hundreds of millions in revenue, save time and money with NetSuite. Join the over 22,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Let NetSuite show you how they'll benefit your business with a free product tour at netsuite.com/trend. netsuite.com/trend.
It's important to remove yourself from toxic relationships in your life. And as Jared reminds us, that could include some of your investments.
If you're in a losing trade, and let me just say, we're not talking about long-term investments. We're not talking about your 401k. We're not talking about your mutual funds. This is your stock portfolio. Think about what you are doing. If you're in a losing trade, do you hope that it's going to come back? Geez, I really hope this comes back. Are you praying that it's going to come back? Hope is not a strategy. You should cut your losses. You should sell it. Now, obviously, you have to have some tolerance for losses. If a stock goes down 1%, I don't think you should sell it. But if a stock goes down 20 or 30%, you sell the stock and get on with your life.
The Jared Dillian Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on Smart Talk and on demand at smarttalkradionetwork.com.
Welcome to Inside the Skev, and I'm your host, Aaron Masliansky. Today, we've got a really, really special holiday episode. I have my brother here, Robert Masliansky, and as many people know, Ruvain. And I've known this guy, I think, my entire life. And this is going to be a fun interview. And he owns First Class Moving and Storage, which is a proud supporter of this show, and does a lot of different things around the community. And we're going to get into it and talk a lot about it today. And just to give everybody a little bit more information about First Class Moving and Storage, it is a full service moving and storage company. It's based outside the Skev, but Robert lives here in Skokie inside the Skev. And it's been in business for a while now, does a lot of great work. And I used to work there, so I know a lot about it, and it's got an excellent reputation. So thank you so much for being here and agreeing to be on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this chit chat.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure it's going to be a thrill for our parents
Yes.
and our grandparents.
Yes. Hello, Grandma and Grandpa. Hello, everyone who's watching right now. So how are things? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing well. How's business?
It's pretty good, actually. There was a little bit of a lull in the spring, and then ever since July, it's been rocking and rolling.
That's awesome. I mean, I remember thinking in the spring, we had some conversations back in March. Where we're like, oh my God, like what is going to happen to both of our businesses with real estate or moving? And we're like, okay, I guess it'll be quiet and we'll figure out how to go. I remember even when I started working for you in 2010, times were tough back then, and then things built up. But really, it hasn't been that way, right? I mean, have you seen a lot of people moving from the city, or is it just like similar to what you see in previous years?
Well, there is some, a lot of people migrating out of the city to the suburbs. We also have the move within the suburbs from, like we do a lot of work in the North Shore, and there's a lot of lateral movement in the North Shore. The bigger house, the smaller house, smaller to bigger as families grow or get smaller. So that's been steady as it is in most years, and people like to move around, so it doesn't matter really what's going on. People do like to move around. They don't like to be in one place for too long sometimes. We do get calls for people moving out of state as well. That seems to be a trend, right? In Illinois right now, that some people are leaving the state to go to other states.
Yeah.
We do some of that moving, but our main focus is definitely residential local moving. So that's what we really focus on. One thing that we used to do a lot of that we don't do right now is senior facility moves. So people in and out of senior facilities is something that we've temporarily paused doing since March. And we hope that, and so we hope that, within the next 6 months, we could resume those kind of moves again.
Well, we had great news, kind of a Hanukkah miracle, I'd say, where the vaccine was approved Friday night. So I think that can have a huge impact on what could be going on now. But hopefully you'll be able to do those moves safely in the near future. But
sure.
Now, we grew up together. Obviously, I know you like more than most people, but to share with the audience, how did you come to be in the moving industry and start First Class Moving and Storage?
Well, it started back when I managed a restaurant, and a former friend of mine owned a different moving company that's no longer around, and ordered lunch and told me to deliver it personally. So I showed up in his office and he handed me a job offer, which is ironic because the year prior he offered me a job as well, and it just wasn't the right fit at the time. So, but a year later, the offer was right, and I decided to leave the restaurant industry and go into the moving business, where I worked for 2.5 years at this other company, kind of learning the ropes, and that's how I got in the moving business, and I didn't like a lot of what they did. They were one of the companies that are more the stereotypical moving companies with the not the greatest of reputations. I tried to do things as best way I could there, but it's not always possible when you don't have the support from ownership to do things on board. And that was a company that had a lot of management issues, I would say, because a lot of the movers were good, but they were just put in real difficult situations. I decided that I could do things a lot better than them with a lot less aggravation, because
Right.
with what was going on in that company, and I don't need to get into all the nitty gritty details of what happened over there, but it was a lot of stress for me, and I decided that I could do it better with a lot less aggravation, to go off of my own. So I would say a good 8 to 12 months before I left that company, I already had started thinking about opening up First Class Moving, which at that point didn't have a name. I was just kind of tossing things around in my head.
Yeah.
But as I continued to work there and things continued to go downhill, I really put the wheels into motion with starting this business.
It's interesting that you say it's less stress to have your own company. And for some people, I think it's incredibly stressful to have your own company, because then it's all on your shoulders. But where do you think you got that entrepreneurial spirit from?
Well, first off, I'm a bit of a control freak, and
You don't say.
and I don't like people telling me what to do so much, and especially when I think I know better than them. So, I felt that, based on how we were raised, that, and the ideals instilled to us by our parents, I'm not out there to cheat anybody, and
Right.
I want to do the right thing. And the truth is, the moving business isn't that hard if you just do things honestly and take care of the people, because that's the bigger problem is, these other companies, they don't want to deal with their claims. And I'm not saying this is across the board, and I don't want to mention any names, because there's other good moving
For
companies
sure.
out there, of course. But you just got to do things the right way and make it so you feel comfortable, you could sleep at night. And once you do that, and then the other trick, of course, is having good people that you trust to work with you.
Yeah.
Because, when you start the business, when I started the business, I would do the estimates. Sometimes I'd go on the trucks. I would, I was working like an animal, and I do whatever I had to do. But as the company grows, you have to learn how to delegate responsibilities, which took me a little bit of time to do. But eventually I learned that you have to let people do their jobs, what you're paying them to do.
Right. Well, I think, but by doing everything within the business beforehand, you have an understanding of every job that is within the company. So you're better able to delegate that and to understand and step in when need be.
Right. And I don't think you could really be a captain of a ship unless you know how to operate the ship.
Right.
There's people that are, on a ship. You have people who do specific jobs. You have your engineers and you have your communication people and you have your this and you have your that. But the captain has to know everything because he's the one that he or she is the one controlling everything. Right. Not everyone is meant to own their own business, though. Some people are not as self-motivated as other people, and they need that leadership. And I'd like to think that I try to do my best with that, of course.
For sure. Well, and you have a very, very loyal staff. I mean, I know I used to work there, but I was there for several years. But you have people there who have been with you since the beginning, and I think that it's part of the continuity of.
I can even go back further, Aaron.
Yeah.
I've had people who are with me since the last company.
So
I still have some people who worked with me when I was at the previous company, and I brought them with. And some of them came with me right away, and some of them came in a little later on. But I still have some of the same people and then the movers that I have, a lot of them have been with me for over 10 years, and some from the beginning, like you say.
Right. And some who are the children of the original movers who are.
That's true. Now. I have fathers and sons working together.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. And when people bring the company into their homes to move, there's obviously a level of trust that they have to have. And by having that continuity and your people, that they're doing the right job. I mean, I always tell people who I'm working with, clients of mine, if you're looking for a mover, I've got a great one to recommend. I qualify that I used to work there and my brother's the president of the company, but really it's excellent. I've moved a few times and the guys are just so conscientious of what they're doing and everything else. So it just makes it so much easier because it can be such a stressful experience. And now you're even doing some estimates virtually in order to cater to what's going on within the pandemic as well, right?
Correct. That's something we started doing in March, was doing, estimates on FaceTime or Google Duo, depending on what type of phone people have, which is, made it a little bit more comfortable for some people who don't want to have people in their homes during this time. Obviously, it's a little ironic that they want half a dozen movers in their home, but obviously the less we have to have face-to-face contact with people, the better, during this. But we have, limited estimates face-to-face, but majority of our estimates since March have been on the virtual side.
Yeah. Well, I think that what that does, it just shows is that you can adjust and people are, work within their comfort and continually giving great customer service to your clients. So I think that that's key. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Robert and talk a little bit more about the moving industry and everything that's going on. So stick around just after a few short messages. I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search. From immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses, my clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com.
Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to First Class Moving and Storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to First Class Moving and Storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number 1, stclassmovers.com.
Reading, writing, and math are a struggle for a lot of young students. At BrainLinks, we know those skills are what paves the way to independence and success. Our specialists will help your child develop the habits they need to make sure they strive, not only in class, but out in the world in general. And of course, for everyone's safety, our lessons are done completely online. For more info on our team members and to schedule your initial consultation, visit brainlinksacademics.com. That's brainlinksacademics.com.
We've come a long way in trying to make everything in our homes safer and more efficient, but we're not perfect yet. The next item on the chopping block?
Top-load washing machines. Here's the thing. Front-load washing machines save so much water. And I mean, you're talking 7 to 10 gallons for a front-load machine versus a top-load, which could take 40 to 60 gallons, depending on what you're using. I mean, it's not even close. And it's better on your clothes. I did a side-by-side front load machine versus a top load. We took some brand new towels, ran them through. Much more lint came out in the dryer because that was just pieces of clothing and towel that have been beaten by the agitator in the inside to get that. So, anyway, that's my little soapbox one. And I think it's going to go away anyway, the top load washing machine.
Around the House with Eric G. Saturday mornings from 7 to 9 on Chicago's Smart Talk. Mortgage rates have reached record lows recently. If you see homeownership in your future, the future is now. Think of Beth Lewis at Cross Country Mortgage as your personal mortgage shopper. She'll sort through racks and racks of home financing options until she finds exactly the right style and fit for you. She'll get you pre-approved to give you an advantage over other buyers, and she'll close your loan quickly with a highly efficient process driven by advanced mortgage technology. So far in 2020, Beth has come through for over 680 individuals and families who needed home financing. Beth will be here for you too, because helping people get mortgages is what she does best. Visit BethLewisTeam.com to get started. That's BethLewisTeam.com or call 847-274-9745. That's 847-274-9745. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Hey, it's JT and Leanne. Join us for the Heart and Home Radio Show, brought to you by Exit Realty.
Sundays at 11 on Smart Talk, WCGO, AM and FM.
Hello, everybody. This is Aaron Aaron here with Inside the Skev. It's like I'm answering the phone again. I'm here with Robert from First Class Moving and Storage. Yeah, it just came back to me naturally. But here we are talking about First Class Moving and Storage. And before we do that, I want to give a shout out to my father's friend, Mark Schock, who's listening in Alabama right now. So Mark, thanks for listening and tuning into the show, and make sure to listen to all other 84 episodes that have come prior. So, and everybody else, you could check out more on skevinston.com. But back here with Robert talking about First Class Moving and Storage. And, we talked a little bit about, how you got into the field of moving. When you look at it though, and what you've learned, certainly you took a lot from your experience with the first company that you worked for, but do you have other people that you've really gotten, like mentors within the industry? Like how like, how does it work within the industry, and why do you think there's the reputation of what it is in the industry right now in moving?
Well, to be honest, within the industry, no, I really don't have mentors.
Mhm.
I, I have, I have a friendship with the owner of one other company, but for the most part, I pretty much don't worry about them. I'm not always checking out my competition. I'm just worrying about myself in this place. When I was forming the company, I would think that the person who helped me the most as far as mentorship was our grandfather,
Mhm.
who, I'd go there for dinner once a week, and he kind of set me straight on a few things of how to run the business, as far as like what type of moving I want to be doing, how to run the company. Originally I was almost had a similar business model as I had at the last company, and after one or two dinners I had a whole different plan, because obviously it didn't work there, so why repeat the same mistakes? So
Right.
I went off and I tried it a different way.
Well, I mean,
It's
some of
been
the
good
same
for us.
mistakes were like consolidated long distance moving, where you can't really give people a real accurate estimate of when you're going to deliver, or maybe even furniture deliveries for stores. Were
No,
those some of the
I
things?
would say it's a lot more basic than that. It's even how to get the jobs. Like that other company, one of the reasons that it had such struggles was that even before I came to work there, they overcommitted to yellow page advertising, where
Mhm.
they would spend over $500,000 a year on full page ads in like every book they could buy.
Wow.
And I was going to do something similar, maybe not to that extent, but I found that direct mail did a lot better. I basically built the whole business off direct mail. I did have some yellow page advertising in the beginning, and that all pretty much stopped back in 2009 with the recession. So once you have a recession, you gotta eliminate you gotta trim the fat, and things that really aren't making you money need to go by the wayside.
Right.
Um,
Well, I remember a funny story in regards to yellow page ads when I was working there, and there was I don't know if it was yellow pages, yellow books, something like that, and the salesperson came in and was trying to get your business, and then she said she had a move to book and needed to come in, and then never ended up booking a move, right?
of course not. It was just a way to get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
But over the years, it's we just pretty much have gone and got rid of almost all our print advertising right now. The only time we do any kind of print advertising is when it's basically a donation to an
Yeah.
organization for like an ad book or something like that. But when it comes to like advertising, Angie's List was one of the last things we were holding on to, and even that isn't what it used to be. So that's something that we've cut out this year as well.
hmm Well, I think what's so important is that you get most of your business from word of mouth, from referrals from previous customers, a lot of the realtors and whatnot. But
Mhm.
that is a strong, warm referral source because they can vouch for what you're doing. And it's not like, I know from my time there, people would always be asking, well, if I refer, do I get some kind of bonus or this or that? It's like, no, you're going to get a commitment to have good service, and that's going to really show well. You know, when you refer a vendor, let's say as a realtor, your reputation yourself is on the line by that making that referral. So by
Absolutely.
making sure that you have a company that's going to take care of your clients' things and move things out at the proper time and show up and not cancel the day of the move and whatnot, that is worth more than anything.
For me, I don't want someone to refer me because they know me. Don't refer me if that's what the reason you're referring me. I
Mhm.
want you to refer me because I'm going to do a good job. I'm going to work hard for whoever you're referring me to, and that's really what I'm after. And my feeling also is that I want to give everybody the best service I can give them, no matter what kind of job they have, no matter what kind of home they live in. I want them treated like as if they're, I always felt like, how do I want to do a move in someone's house? I want it to be like if I hired someone to work in my house, what would I expect?
Yeah.
And I don't want people messing up my home, or stealing from me, or being sloppy or anything like that. So that's what I expect when I send people to someone else's home to do a job for them. Is I want them to act like it's their home. and treat things as if the furniture was theirs, not someone else's.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you have a 60,000, am I correct? The 60,000 square foot warehouse space that's heated and secure. And it's not like you're bringing things into a public access facility where you have random people.
And it's actually mostly air conditioned as well.
Yeah.
So we have, 66,000 square feet where we have parking for our trucks and, large storage area and, offices and music studio and things like that.
Yeah, you do have the music studio, and we're going to get into that in the next segment. But I mean, it's so cool. And, sometimes people think that you got to start huge and, but I mean, you started small. You started out of the house in a small warehouse space, and then you got a warehouse space and then grew it to where you took over the entire building now. So it's, I think that the key is sustainable growth. And that is really what you've done with this company, and you could weather the storm and you could still provide that great customer service to people. Yeah. And, when we come back, we're going to get into a little bit more about your background in music, community involvement. We'll talk a little bit more about that studio space there that you've got, which is like the coolest practice space. And we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search. From immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses, my clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com.
Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to First Class Moving and Storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to First Class Moving and Storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number 1, stclassmovers.com.
Reading, writing, and math are a struggle for a lot of young students. At BrainLinks, we know those skills are what paves the way to independence and success. Our specialists will help your child develop the habits they need to make sure they strive, not only in class, but out in the world in general. And of course, for everyone's safety, our lessons are done completely online. For more info on our team members and to schedule your initial consultation, visit brainlinksacademics.com. That's brainlinksacademics.com.
Recently on Mindful Money, presented by Stride Financial.
If somebody were to ask me what the greatest threat to a successful retirement is, I would probably say spending principal is it, for the mere fact that it's less obvious to people when they are spending principal because they're constantly hitting a moving target unless you specifically have structured the portfolio in a way where you don't have to liquidate things or sell shares in order to finish your withdrawals. But if you can put yourself in a situation where you're not spending principal, then if you think about it, it would be pretty hard for you to run out of money because you're not spending principal. But many people unknowingly and unnecessarily are spending principal, even though they think that they're not. And the reason for that is because when you take into account sequence of return risk and reverse dollar cost averaging, you can have a positive rate of return and still be cannibalizing principal from your portfolio.
Tune in to Mindful Money, Saturday mornings at 10 on Chicago's Smart Talk. Mortgage rates have reached record lows recently. If you see homeownership in your future, the future is now. Think of Beth Lewis at Cross Country Mortgage as your personal mortgage shopper. She'll sort through racks and racks of home financing options until she finds exactly the right style and fit for you. She'll get you pre-approved to give you an advantage over other buyers, and she'll close your loan quickly with a highly efficient process driven by advanced mortgage technology. So far in 2020, Beth has come through for over 680 individuals and families who needed home financing. Beth will be here for you too, because helping people get mortgages is what she does best. Visit BethLewisTeam.com to get started. That's BethLewisTeam.com. Or call 847-274-9745. That's 847-274-9745. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
It's JT and Leanne. Join us for Married with Microphones.
Special guests, hot news topics, and our hilarious relationship report card.
Saturdays, 6 p.m. on WCGO.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Aaron from Inside the Skev here with my brother, Robert Masliansky from First Class Moving and Storage. And just want to give a little shout out, happy birthday to our grandmother, Dory Ches. She had a birthday this past week, and our Aunt Sherry Zimmelman is going to be having a birthday this week too. So happy birthday. And then we have more birthdays next week. So hope everyone has a good one.
Happy birthday.
Yes. But wanted to just talk with you a little bit about some of the things that you do outside of First Class Moving. You know, you've been involved in music for a long time. I remember you playing the drums in the basement.
It's almost 30 years. This year coming up will be 30 years since I started playing drums.
Wow, that's a long time. And I remember being at your first concert where it was a battle of the bands.
Yes.
At Synagogue on Sheridan Road in Edgewater. And you've come a long way. I mean, you've played at House of Blues, you've played in multiple bands. And what band are you in now, and what type of music is it?
I'm in a band called Damaged Justice. We are a Metallica tribute band. And this is a band that I've had going since like 1996, 97. We took a break for a few years, and we've had some lineup changes over the years. We're on a temporary hiatus right now due to most of the bars being closed, and we're hopeful that sometime in 2021 we can get back on stage and perform again. That's a lot of fun, playing drums and collecting musical instruments.
Yeah, you've got a few. You've got a whole studio space with lights and a couple drum sets and guitars and everything, right? I mean,
I'm right now I have, I think it was 6 or 7 drum sets and about 15 guitars of my own. I have a PA, I have lighting equipment. But we bring some of it out as, for depending on where we're playing and how, what the bar will allow us to do, or the venue. Some places have better lighting and things like that right off the bat, like you mentioned, House of Blues, and you don't really have to bring a lot of extra stuff to play there.
No, I don't think so.
But some places have more basic setup, and it's we want to be able to put on more than just the music. We want to put on a whole experience, because you're not just listening to a concert, you're watching it. So when you're watching something, you want to have you want lighting and lasers and all different kinds of cool stuff to make it appealing to the eye, not just the ear.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something that we miss so badly right now, the experience of going to a concert and being around all the other people and the music and the smells and the smoke that from the smoke machines and everything else. I mean, just like what you're trying to do with a cover band, a tribute band, is that you're bringing Metallica to the people, because Metallica is not touring all the time and you can't always go see them, and it's more of an intimate experience, but you bring a lot of the flavor that Metallica brings to your concerts.
Absolutely. I'm the one that generally makes the set list for the shows, and I try to keep in mind of like what Metallica does. We put on a 2-hour show just like Metallica does, and they usually play 18 songs at a show. We usually play 18 songs at a show. And we try to integrate a lot of their experience into what we do. And it's nice for people who don't have the $100+ to go spend on a ticket for a Soldier Field concert or wherever they're coming to play, that they could, spend $10 or, somewhere between $10 and $15, depending on what the place is charging that day, to have that kind of experience and whenever they want. We used to be, and this pre-March, we played around 20 shows, 18 to 22 shows a year is what we try to do. And that's being fairly active. You end up doing 2 to 3 shows a month, and some months maybe 1 show. But it's a lot of fun, and can't wait to get back up on stage and perform again.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to be able to do that too, and to see you play. I mean, I think it's been such a thrill to see you up there, and especially at House of Blues, like this amazingly cool venue, and you got tons of people there. You got a lot of great energy. You have a lot of videos and things from previous shows that people can go online and see, right? Like, where would they go to look at that?
Right. You can find stuff on our Facebook page, Damage Justice Chicago, and then you could also search us on YouTube. There's videos on YouTube as well.
Yeah. Well, I have to say the first concert that I ever went to was with you and a couple other people, and it was a Metallica concert. I was 16 years old, and it was at the Allstate Arena, Rosemont Horizon. And it was quite an experience. I mean, for many different reasons, and I'll leave it at that right now. But it was...
I think your eyes almost popped out of your head that night.
I think so. I think I became a man that night. But something really cool, actually, after the show was you put on a demo tape by a friend of yours, Dave Draymond's band, Disturbed. And I remember that. And then he exploded into, a major phenomenon around the world, too. So a lot of your friends have a musical background and would play together. And it was your friends coming over to the house and playing in the basement. But you've grown this band. You've got, you have a female James Hetfield.
Yes, we do.
It is it has the flavor, but it's your own unique blend on it, right?
Exactly. But our female James Hetfield does a pretty rocking job.
Yeah.
She has the essence of what he sounds like. She has the essence of his voice and his stage performance. She studies him, as we all study our parts in the band, to try to transform ourselves into that person for the evening, while we're on stage, at least,
it's a real performance.
Exactly. It's exactly, when you're on stage, you're a performer and you're putting on a show. So like I was saying earlier, it's not just with the ears, it's with the eyes. So people are watching what's going on too, and you want to keep them engaged, because sometimes you get to the point where you go on stage at 11, you're playing until 1, and you want people to stay. So sometimes, no matter how good you are, people get tired, but if they're having a good time, they're less likely to leave. So you keep the energy high, and generally that keeps things pretty exciting for people.
It sure does. And you're also involved in the community, in the Skev community at Skokie Central Congregation, which moved from Main Street to Church Street. And what is, tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. For many years, they were on 4040 Main, like you mentioned, and the neighborhood changed, and the demand for the type of service they were offering changed as well. They were a traditional congregation, and they eventually turned into a purely Orthodox congregation, and they felt at some point that the building they were in needed a lot of work, and they were better off moving to a different area, more in the Orthodox community, where they would be able to have people that will be able to fill up the shul, come to the synagogue. And so they moved, they bought the building at 3451 Church Street. right by the 7-Eleven there on Church and East Prairie.
The former sleep clinic.
Yes. We try not to put people to sleep though during services, but
or before that, the exterminator.
Yeah. But they bought the building 2 years ago and moved in about 1 3/4 years ago, and I helped with a lot of the renovations that happened in the building, and I've been very active in that place for about 1.5 years now. Where, at first I was just helping out and doing things, and eventually I wound up on the board of directors there, and it became the house chairman, which I currently serve as. And, looking forward to having this congregation grow. It's not a big place. It's not, cathedral ceilings and everything like that, but it's a nice, homey congregation where people can come and be welcome and enjoy the services. And we have a wonderful rabbi. Rabbi Michael Gottesman is going to be his 40th year being a rabbi coming up.
Wow.
And he's he's very warm and welcoming to the people who come into the synagogue, and he's very knowledgeable as well.
Yeah, it's Hamish.
Yes, it's a Hamish Stiebel.
Exactly. Yeah. Where can people learn more about Skokie Central on the web?
Well, we have a website, it's skokiecentral.com. And they can come and check it out, check out what time we have services, come join us and see what we're about. Obviously, we're very anxious for the social distancing requirements to go away, so we could, put our seats back in our room. Right now, obviously, it's limited seating, but we have some areas in the building where we have set up some additional seating, so where people could still hear what's going on if they want to, come. But we have room to accommodate, a few extras that will fit in the main sanctuary room. And like I said, we're just anxiously looking forward to getting back and doing what we need to do. When we had the high holidays recently, we had to try to accommodate as many people as we could. So what we did was we put a big tent in our parking lot, and we had services in the parking lot in the tent, and we also had indoor services in the sanctuary in order to accommodate everybody who wanted to come for the holidays.
Well, I think that, the things that you do are going to be so great when we are able to come back from having the vaccine and be able to be together. Stick around, everyone. We're going to talk a little bit more with Robert right after the break. Hi, I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search. From immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses, my clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com.
Reading, writing, and math are a struggle for a lot of young students. At BrainLinks, we know those skills are what paves the way to independence and success. Our specialists will help your child develop the habits they need to make sure they strive, not only in class, but out in the world in general. And of course, for everyone's safety, our lessons are done completely online. For more info on our team members and to schedule your initial consultation, visit brainlinksacademics.com. That's brainlinksacademics.com.
Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to First Class Moving and Storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to First Class Moving and Storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number one, stclassmovers.com. reminiscing about the good old days of smoking. Meats, that is.
Did you grow up doing barbecue? Did you grow up doing smoking?
Yeah, not so much barbecue-wise, but, growing up cooking a lot on the charcoal grill with my father and stuff. He was in the Army for 20 years. He was stationed over in Germany. They used to do a lot of grilling, a lot of cookouts. When I was of age, or from what I can remember, just cooking on a charcoal grill in the backyard, and it just kind of went from there, going into Boy Scouts, learning to cook over the open fire, and I just loved to cook, so it just sort of felt natural,
You know what's interesting to me, Bill, is your story is similar, not exactly the same, but similar to a lot of people that I talk to. That was one of the few times when they were kids that they got to spend time with their dads.
Come on down to Barbecue Nation, hosted by the cowboy cook Jeff Tracy. Saturdays starting at noon on Chicago's Smart Talk. Mortgage rates have reached record lows recently. If you see homeownership in your future, the future is now. Think of Beth Lewis at Cross Country Mortgage as your personal mortgage shopper. She'll sort through racks and racks of home financing options until she finds exactly the right style and fit for you. She'll get you pre-approved to give you an advantage over other buyers, and she'll close your loan quickly with a highly efficient process driven by advanced mortgage technology. So far in 2020, Beth has come through for over 680 individuals and families who needed home financing. Beth will be here for you too, because helping people get mortgages is what she does best. Visit BethLewisTeam.com to get started. That's BethLewisTeam.com or call 847-274-9745. That's 847-274-9745. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee.
Hey, Chicago, Eric G. with Around the House. Coming up each and every Saturday, 7 to 9 a.m., right here on WCGO, Chicago Smart Talk. We are going to be tackling all the different home improvement projects that are going around your house. It could be outside with outdoor landscaping and decking, to inside to kitchen and bathroom remodeling. All of these things and more coming up. Plus, we slide in a few more interviews with the celebrities that you see on TV. Each and every Saturday, 7 to 9 a.m., right here on WCGO.
This is Steve Levin, the Dice Man from Roll the Dice, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock on Smart Talk, WCGO, AM 1590 and 95.9 FM.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Skev. This is Aaron here, speaking with Robert Masliansky. No relation, just the same last name, and grew up together. So we are here. We've been talking with Robert about First Class Moving and Storage and about damage justice and Skokie Central. And we only have a few more minutes left here, but this has been so much fun. One of the things I want to ask you is, what do you hope to carry with you from 2020? I mean, this has been a challenging year for all of us, but what is something that you plan to take with you and for now on?
I don't really know how to answer that. I just have to see how things go from here. For me, obviously, there have been some changes, like we talked about, the band is on a hiatus, and we haven't been able to see our family as much as we would like to, and things like that.
Definitely not.
But for me, I've still been doing what I do. I go to work every day. I've been going to the stores. I'm trying to live life as normal as possible. Because I have to. I can't run my business from home. I have to. We're a hands-on kind of company. We have people that come in, there's storage, none of this stuff can be done virtually. You can't move somebody virtually. We don't have transporters yet, like Star Trek. So, so for me is, obviously try to be careful as you can. But at the same time, you still have to live life and appreciate life. When March, the synagogues closed and people didn't know what to expect. And as things went on and things started to reopen, you live life and one day at a time, and nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring you. You can you can win the lottery, you can get hit by a bus. You don't know what's going to happen, and you have to appreciate what you have and live life every day. They say live every day like it's your last, right?
Right.
So that's kind of just a general philosophy, and appreciate what you have and take advantage of things when they're here.
Yeah, I think that we'll definitely be very grateful for when things can get back to a place where you don't have to be fearful for being outside and being around other people. I mean, the things that, like I said before we went to break, I think that the things that you do are very engaged with a lot of people: music, community, spirituality. It's very much engaging with many other people. So I think that there will be a lot of gratefulness that we'll have,
Absolutely. And there's things that can't be done, right now, although there are a few places that are still hosting bands, most places are not. And that's something that I'd like to get back to. The having the synagogue, and being able to increase membership and welcome more people into the building. That's something that we can't do right now. We do our best, and we want to have that sense of community as much as possible. But I think we're just a short time away from having that back again.
I know. I think we can see the light at the end of the
trucks
tunnel.
roll out of the Pfizer plant this morning with the vaccines. So I think it's going to be here before you know it, where we're going to be back to the way things were.
I sure hope so, in many respects. Now, just to remind everyone, so let's say you're thinking about moving, and you're wondering, when should I call the moving company and how do I go about it? What is the right process that you recommend to people, and how do they reach First Class Moving and Storage?
I would think that if you're planning a move, you should reach out sometime between 6 to 12 weeks in advance of the move. Obviously, if you have less notice, then you can call, but things do book up. We're not the type of company that augments our staff with day labor. There's companies that just do provide day labor for different types of industries, and so certain companies will continue booking jobs and just supplement their crews with unqualified help. But for me, I'd rather turn a job down than do a bad job. So when we hit our capacity for the day, that's where we're at. So generally, I would say 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 6 to 12 weeks in advance. We can certainly we try to accommodate people as much as we can. You can always find us on our website. It's www.firstclassmovers.com, but don't spell first. It's 1stclassmovers.com, or feel free to call us where our number is 847-272-9988. And as you mentioned, we have we're full service moving, storage, packing, unpacking company, headquartered in Northbrook, Illinois.
Yeah. And the leafy suburb of Northbrook, Illinois.
Yes.
as the whole music says. And you also sell boxes, materials, you deliver them. So and all that information's on the website too. And,
correct.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a quote, the best thing to do is to call us, because we don't provide online quotes. We feel that if you don't have that actual interaction with the person, things get lost in the shuffle. Because sometimes people tend to just put their big pieces of furniture when they fill out an online quote, and it sets everyone up for a bad experience. We don't want a bad experience for the client, nor do we want a bad experience for our crews. We want things done in a timely manner and in a happy manner.
You don't want people to forget the 100 boxes of things that they need to bring too.
Or the 3,000 small pieces of things that they have.
Right. It's just a few things.
Exactly.
Definitely had a lot of those types of calls for sure over the years. Well, everyone, I think First Class, speaking biasly, but knowing how good the movers are and how easy it is to work with the company, you got to call First Class Moving and Storage if you're looking to move or you need storage in the Chicagoland area. And if you're moving outside the state too, you can't beat the expedited long distance moving service that you provide.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So This has been such a thrill. I really appreciated having you on. I want to let everyone know, if you want to listen to more episodes of Inside the Skev, you can go to skevinston.com. I've got all the information about me, my business, and all the episodes, and lots of good things there. It's on any podcast app, YouTube. Next week, I'm going to have a really interesting conversation with the Cook County Assessor, Fritz Kagi. And we're going to talk about real estate taxes, things that are going on, really get to understand it. It's going to be really interesting. And stick around for the Fred and Hannah show. And everyone, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's been a lot of fun. All right.
Absolutely.
Everyone, have a great week.
It's me, your heart. High blood pressure is serious, and if you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away, you're wrong. I can quit whenever I want, but I like my job. Just treat me better. Maybe we can do some exercise on occasion? After all, we're in this together.
Don't let your heart quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death.